Cheto Darpanamarjanam Bhavamahadavagninirvatam Shriya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadurivanam Anandam Durivardhanam Pratipadam Puranam Vitasvaram Sarvatma Snapanam Padam Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam.
Okay, Hare Krishna. So this is
Hare Krishna.
I'm very much looking forward to hearing from you, Santosh Prabhu. How's if you talk a little bit about book distribution and or South London community and things like that, and we're all ears, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu, for giving me the opportunity and to talk about this glorious occasion of book distribution for the whole month. So South London is a pretty small community, a bunch of family sort of coming together and trying their best to distribute some books. All I can say is that when I came into Krishna consciousness, which was about a decade ago now, the first book I was given was actually a very small book. I don't know whether it's in print. I don't see the book anymore. It's a pink book called Bhakti, and it's a very small picture book, and it had something written on it which is quite appealing. And then the next one that I actually ended up reading cover to cover was Chant and Be Happy, and that really drew my attention to the philosophy. But the impetus for really looking into Krishna consciousness seriously was when I lost a very close friend of ours. I used to do music before, and she passed away with almost instant. She just gone with a 9-year-old, leaving behind a 9-year-old boy and a husband. And I sort of lost sleep for a few days. I said it can happen to us anytime, and at that time somebody was invited. The day she passed away, the next day, somebody invited a devotee, and he actually read the chapter 8 of Bhagavad Gita, Attaining the Supreme, and it was quite moving. I think that was the beginning, and again, it was because of books of Srila Prabhupada's legacy, and it was something that really drew me into Krishna consciousness. And that's how we do. And then in terms of the South London, this time around, we are almost every day the book distributors are out, and everybody works like we do. And then after, I was just about to, another 40-50 minutes, I'll probably go out and start distributing books. And everybody, whoever is passionate, they are going out, they're doing their best. What we found very, very useful is the training we got from Vaisheshika Prabhu this year. He was actually in Watford, and some of the tips that he was giving was really, really profound. The first step, and we tried using it. Establish a conscious contact as the first step. So if somebody is walking by, just don't say, okay, can you take a book, or this is a book, so first establish a contact is the very first step. And one who is not able to, or do not have the time to establish that contact, that means that that person is not ripe in his word for Krishna consciousness. So you just let them go, and the ones who are interested will stop. So yeah, and then that sort of reminds me of the verse in Bhagavad Gita, Maya dakshena prakriti suyate sachara. Krishna says that everything and everyone, a living entity or non-living entities, are working under my direction. So if somebody is really coming or stopping, is actually by the will of the Lord. And
mm,
so, it's a good, and every time it happens, it gives us opportunities to actually meditate on these words, by words of Krishna. So yeah, I mean, I think it was by Shikha Prabhu. So that's really powerful, establishing the conscious contact, and then
mm,
engaging into conversation and tell them about the book. Um, and he the other thing he kind of taught us is name dropping. Okay, this book has been read by Albert Einstein and Oppenheimer and Thomas Jefferson and various things like that. So it again, these kind of things really work. And there's a little blurb on the back of the Bhagavad Gita by Mahatma Gandhi, and I had people read them, and they really found it very useful. And
mm,
and and that really does the sales pitch very well for Bhagavad Gita. And I find it
mm,
actually easier to distribute Bhagavad Gita than any other small books, just because I can connect it quite nicely. But doesn't mean that the small books are shouldn't be distributed. They must be distributed. So yeah, I think that's what we've been doing, Prabhu,
mm,
and it's really inspiring to see some of the book scores, and some devotees are so enthusiastic, and in spite of having back problems, they're out there for 8 hours, 9 hours. It's
mm,
just it's just really, really inspiring to see them.
mm. Well, real nice. But I really like when I was speaking to Vaisheshika Prabhu in Govardhan a few weeks ago, and yeah, he was saying he saw that the future of book distribution to increase it in the UK is this training. Just train everyone. Um, it just seemed like you were saying, just these simple phrases or these simple little hacks that, or he used the word keys that unlock. Forget right. Everyone has there's only a certain number of um,
Yes.
things that people say, and you get the right key, you unlock
Yeah, yeah,
them. Mm.
yeah. He was actually some of the other strap lines he was using. Okay, you look spiritual. What's your secret?
Mm.
And that really works sometimes.
I use
I
that
did
all the
try on
time.
a few people. Yeah, and I did try on a few people, and did kind of click. One lady said, "Okay, it's because I'm coming from a church." Um, yeah, another person said, I am a Buddhist. I follow Buddhism. So
Mm.
things like that. So it does work sometimes. And Vaisheshika Prabhu said it's not actually a lie. Everybody is spiritual, so they are
Mm.
indeed spiritual. So it's the right
Mm.
thing to say. So
Mm.
yeah,
Well, just one last quick thing, I know is just for a few minutes. What I'm really also really interested in is the you're saying like that, a lot of our community, even if they're busy and they're working, they still go out. And how do you what have you found that really creates that community amongst yourselves, and how inspires you all to go out on book distribution even with all these other responsibilities? And if you were going to give any sort of tip to see ourselves in Wales, if you have any tips that could help us bring our community together of all different backgrounds and also inspire them to be part of the mission, what any tips?
well, I was going to ask you for tips actually, and you're from your community, and I was actually thinking when I heard your name from Satyabhama Mataji, I thought it might be a good opportunity to ask you to come over actually, and give us some tips and lessons. So um, yeah, I'm not really qualified to give any tips, Prabhu. But the uh, I think the main thing is this yatra is run by a group of families, and
Mm,
everybody knows each other very, very well.
mm,
And the the main thing that holds people together is Srila Prabhupada, and
mm,
everybody listens to Srila Prabhupada's lectures, and every day
mm,
everybody, I believe, read Srila Prabhupada's books every day. They chant their rounds first thing in the morning, and their sadhana is, I believe, quite strong. And
mm,
I think anybody and everybody who follows these principles can, put them together. And, there is an expression: a family that prays together stays together. So so in this case, it's an extended family. Um, and I think if you just follow these principles that Prabhupada has established, doing a morning sadhana, attending, though we don't have morning programs in our yatra except on the weekends, we do not get the opportunity to actually meet in the mornings, but people have their respective, deities, and they do their morning service first thing in the morning, and many devotees do the Mangalarti, Tulsi Arati, Guru Puja, etc. at home. So they're doing that as well. So I think a lot of these practices really, helps bring us together. And obviously, the biggest benefit is that it purifies our heart. So.
Yeah, that's really nice, bro. I'll
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the one other thing I think that we are, at least we as Grihastas, right, we are always caught up in our day-to-day, mill of life, and we're running around doing the same thing. And the good thing about book distribution is it lets us pause to some degree from all this, running around Maya, and it exposes us to so many different kinds of people, and you do realize that they need the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. They need the mercy of, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They need the mercy of Krishna. And then you end up having some of those unique conversations that you probably otherwise wouldn't have if you did not go out for book distribution. So that's actually just the other day, day before yesterday, actually, my wife and I were just out there, and we just randomly picked a place. We don't really properly plan way in advance that we will be going there, but we just happened to go to a place in a place called Sutton, and we parked our car somewhere, and then we just walked up to a bus stand, and I was distributing to somebody, and then in the background my wife was distributing to some other lady, and she took the Bhagavad Gita. She was very interested. She opened it, and then she was taking it. So then my wife asked for a donation, and she said, "I don't have any money on me. I don't have any cash or anything." And then my wife asked, "Are you sure you do not have anything? If you don't, then if you just give me a hug." Okay. And then she gave her a hug, and she just burst into tears, and then she said she fled home because she had a fight with the mother, and she was miles away from where she lives and things like that. And the moment my wife came to know, and she looked like 18, 19-year-old girl, but actually she was 12. She looks quite grown up. And then we stopped our book distribution, and then we took her in our car, and we went and we took the postcode from her, and then we went to drop her off. And we realized that there are some disturbances in the family, and they do need mercy, and they had taken 2 Bhagavad Gitas from us. So yeah, I mean, the Prabhupada gives this analogy very common, right? Sun disk and the sun rays, and his Prabhupada is full of analogies. So this is a very common thing that, so the way I visualize it, the books are just the rays of mercy coming all the way down from Krishna. And there are so many people out there who actually need it. And my Guru Maharaj, who is Holiness Sri Ram Swami Maharaj, he keeps saying, flood the world with transcendental literatures. And just, yeah. Yes, Prabhupada.
Wow. Well, thank you. I mean, that story is just, I want to thank you very much, because you just reminded me of why I originally wanted to go out on book distribution. So there's stories like that for actually really helping people. And speak for myself. Sometimes I get too caught up in my own little scores or whatever, you know. But those moments of touching people like that, yeah. Thanks. That's reminding me of why I do it.
Yeah.
So, thank you, Santosh Prabhu.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami